Hello, it's Friday, November 22nd, and this video segment I call My Perspective and Comments. And I'd like to talk a bit about a busy political week with the Democratic debates and the circus that was being televised for a bit until some of the stations kind of cut out of it because they were losing their shirts with the broadcast, and that is the President Trump impeachment inquiry. But I'd like to really focus on that a bit. The attack was on. A lot of witnesses have come forward. Majority is basically hearsay, and but in the Democratic Party, hearsay is almost like actual evidence. And we need to really take a step back and look at Ukraine and this investigation that laws were broken. President Trump broke laws, and let's look at what was happening in Ukraine just briefly. It started with President Obama. Ukraine was a corrupt country with a corrupt leader, and Obama set up a office basically to oversee and to make improvements to this government. Because we were sinking millions of dollars into the country, and it was a corrupt country, and that money was getting wasted. Well, fast forward to now, same situation. Ukraine is still corrupt, still some issues, but there's a new president on board, and he's trying to make changes. But as a president should, before you start handing out millions or billions of dollars, you want to make sure that what was a problem, corruption, has been resolved. So looking at it from that perspective, I think people can say, wait a minute, Trump was just taking a look at, we're not going to waste and spend money to only have it put into the wrong hands. So that was what you're not hearing in those hearings, that there was a severe problem in Ukraine, and there was efforts to make sure that there was improvement. And that was primarily the conversation and Trump released that conversation to the American people. But my question is, where's the whistleblower? And here we go again. The new trial that the Democrats are using now, the new tactics. Accusations trump everything. You don't need to have any evidence, just the accusation. So what took place? We had a whistleblower. Have you seen the whistleblower this week or last week come testify? No. Adam Schiff forgot about him. He's gone. You're not going to hear from him unless it goes to the Senate and they say, okay, we want to hear from the whistleblower. We want to hear from the Bidens, Hunter and Joe, and get some more of the testimony that was excluded, that Schiff said, no, we're not bringing this individual or that individual. The witnesses that I pick will be testifying. So if it goes to the Senate, which it looks like it will, it looks like the Democrats are going to go down this impeachment road. And when it goes to the Senate, then we may see some other people testifying so that we can get to the bottom of corruption in Ukraine, the continued corruption in Ukraine. But I want to, at this point, talk a bit about the that presidential debate. They had the front runners, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, and now Pete Buttigieg, leading the polls in Iowa and New Hampshire. And the question is that accurate? Is he really the front runner? And as Joe Biden seems to be slipping, what needs to fill that void? And they're looking for someone that they would consider moderate. And people that come to mind right now, and that's where the field is shaking out. Who's the moderate and who is the far left? And we all know at this point what we've heard out of Elizabeth Warren's mouth and Bernie Sanders, definitely on that far left wing. Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg is trying to take that moderate wing. We have Tulsi Gabbard, who had a very, I thought was a very strong showing. She went after Mayor Pete, or may I say Pastor Pete, because it seems like the more debates he's in, the more things that he throws out there of this social justice religion that he embraces. And he almost, that's why early on he's been attacking Mike Pence. And I guess he feels like he's elevating himself when he tries to go some sort of moral route using his social justice religion. But the question is, Mayor Pete, is he the real deal? And I think for these Democrats that would be voting in these primaries, he might be able to slide by. I think at the end of the day, though, most Democrats are going to coalesce and say, wait a minute, what are we doing? Can Mayor Pete beat President Trump? And I think a lot of people, some of the brain trust in the Democratic Party is saying, wait a minute, what's more important for us to have someone that meets our liberal viewpoint, and that we would elect someone that fits a viewpoint, a lifestyle, and pushing that democratic message? Or do we want to win the presidency and have a candidate that can win? And I think that now there's, as Mayor Pete seems to be doing better and it seems to be topping some of these polls, there's, I think, a slight nervousness. Hey, what are we doing here? And I think that we'll see as the months roll on here. But I think that there's going to be a realization that hey, Mayor Pete might beat or might win in the primary, but when it comes to the general election, there's going to be some difficulties. And I think that it's one of the areas that is a weakness or will be a weakness for a Mayor Pete, should they continue to elevate him, is that he's going to have to, the Democrats take it for granted, take the black vote for granted. But turnout, one, it's going to be turnout, and two, there's an opening for President Trump to get more black voters. And he's got such a powerful message right now. In fact, he did bring that out when he met with black community in one of the rallies, and focused on what has been going on over this past year. And that message should resonate. And if I had any advice for President Trump, it would be the message was great when he came out in 2016 and says to the black voters, what have you got to lose? Now now that message isn't that, but he can continue to tout what's been going on. Record black unemployment, women, Hispanics. Now the message is, you don't want to lose. You're in jeopardy if you vote for one of these Democrats. You are in jeopardy, and you are in jeopardy to lose, because most of these Democrats are going to go back to the old way, the new normal, unemployment, people on food stamps, people can't find a job. The jobs have gone overseas, or that, for example, Elizabeth Warren, she's going to drive companies out because she's looking to tax everything. Anyone that's a millionaire or billionaire, she's looking to take as much money as she can, and business people aren't going to be left vulnerable to that. They'll move their money out of the country. And that's exactly what happened with Barack Obama. Now, with President Trump, the money is coming back. Businesses are manufacturing is growing in America, where Obama was saying the new normal is, those jobs are gone. Well, folks, those jobs are back, and the economic stability for our nation. Definitely some optimistic people when they can actually see jobs coming back in this country. The job signs, companies looking to hire, record breaking in America right now. So that's a message that Trump can bring to the black community, is you don't want to lose. And if you elect a Democrat, the gains that have been made are in jeopardy. So it's a strong message, and I would if I was speaking to Donald Trump, to urge him to continue to reach out and have that message. The economy, a strong economy, jobs for women, Hispanics, blacks, and the future is bright, and to build upon that, and not to get saddled with a Democrat that would shrink our economy and ultimately cause some negative effects for the progress that's being made. So I would say coming up here in the next, probably before the end of the year, we'll have the spectacle of the Democrats moving forward for impeachment. It's not going to go far. It's going to go to the House and to the Senate, and it will be quickly defeated. But one plus is it's something that President Trump can actually use and run against the Democrats, that they would put this nation through this from 2016 until now. And I believe that can be a winning message for Donald Trump, even that impeachment message, because it's not built on anything of substance, hearsay. And I believe that if the Senate brings some testimony from those actors like the Bidens to explain the millions of dollars and how Hunter got this sweetheart deal for not knowing anything, they have some explaining to do. And this can turn out to be a strong position for Trump. And remember, folks, we're under a year right now before the primary, the election for president. So a lot of ground is going to be made, and as you've seen in politics and things that are going on in our country, a lot can change. But we'll keep our eye open on our nation, the economy, the bad actors in our around the world, because this world is a dangerous world. And one plus, I would say, kudos to President Trump, is that when it comes to the military and taking a strong stance around the world, we're there. And building up our military has also been a plus, because, as Reagan said, having peace through strength is important. And that's my perspective and comment.